Denny's comments were, well, you know, I'm going to teach these guys to race me with respect. It's the next incident, the next time they're close together. What does Ross do?
Hey race fans, welcome to another episode of Backseat Drivers. Here in Studio 3, I'm Alex Weaver, joined at the table by NBC Sports' Kyle Petty, and then our resident analyst, Mamba Smith. And guys, nothing to talk about today.
Light work, KP.
Nothing that
Nothing.
came out of the race on Sunday. Make sure and text 31032. You can text either Kyle or Mamba, our two keywords. We're going to break it all down. Hopefully explain what happened. And, well, let's get right into it. Chase Elliott gets his fourth win of the season. And, KP, he didn't lead a lap.
I don't believe I've ever heard that. I don't. And when that started showing up last night from some of the reporters, I'm like, how do you win a race and never lead a lap?
Not one.
Yeah, I mean, most of the time, you know, when we've seen different things happen, at least a guy led at some point in time in the race, but never led a lap and gets the win. I guess Denny's going to deliver the trophy back to him when we get to Indy. Maybe they'll have a ceremony there. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, pretty exciting for Chase. Pretty exciting for the fans. Because it was a good race, no matter what.
If you have to win one and not lead it, then, it sounds like a pretty way. So Taylor took the flag at Pocono, Denny's daughter. So did we get the flag back?
No. Taylor, you keep that flag, sweetie. That is your flag. That was your moment.
Yes.
It was so awesome to watch on TV.
Yeah.
And shout out to all the fans. Like, all year they've been showing out. I remember back at Daytona, I made a tweet. I'm like, look at all these people. And people, oh, give it 4 weeks. Give it 4 weeks. Well, we're like 20-something weeks in, and everyone is still showing out, and that's so sick to see.
Let's talk about the storyline that we thought was going to be the biggest news story of the day. And in the most eventful season that I can remember, Pocono didn't disappoint, but we saw Denny Hamlin and Ross Chastain go at it again. This is just the divorce that we can't get the paper signed. So is the score settled? Because it looked like Denny knocked Ross out of the way. Really didn't do anything wrong, just a racing incident on the racetrack, but it was for the win. Well, he was disqualified. So, KP, is the score settled?
That's a great question. I can't go yes or no on this one. I really can't. I can go kinda.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you a kinda. I'm not even gonna give you. I'm gonna give you because listening to both of them, you know, Ross feels like, or Denny feels like, there's multiple incidents. Ross feels like, I hope what you just did to me takes care of all those multiple incidents. Denny's comments were, well, you know, I'm going to teach these guys to race me with respect, and now we'll see where it goes. So I think it's the next incident, the next time they're close together. What does Ross do the next time? How does Denny race Ross the next time? And that'll tell us whether it's over for sure. But I can tell you from a driver's perspective, it's never going to be over. It's just never over. In 10 years, if they're still in competition with each other, that's going to click into their head when they get close to each other.
On track incident though, just racing?
Racing,
okay.
Yeah. That you know, Denny did. That's old school.
Yeah.
That's old school payback. That's not. We hear so many of these young guys. I'm gonna kick his butt. He's not gonna win a championship. He'll never win another race. I'm gonna do this. You know, I'm gonna show up at his house. I'm gonna burn it down. You know, that's what we hear all this talk and nothing. Crickets. Nothing ever happens. You know, and Denny had been the same way. You know, and Denny got quiet. The last incident, Denny got quiet. And that's the calm before the storm. When somebody gets quiet, that's the Matt Kenseth syndrome right there. When you get quiet, something's going to happen. And Denny just gave him room. Ross had multiple times, multiple opportunities to feather out and just stay where he needed to be. But Denny gave him just enough room to hang himself. And that's what he did. I mean, he jumped the cushion, got up in the white stuff, and there's no coming back from that, man.
Score settled?
No. So I believe that Denny has a list. I think he has a list in his mind of guys that have done him wrong or he felt like have used him up. And they're mostly younger guys. Yeah. And we've seen it over the last, and he even said it over the last, I think he said over the last 18 months or something like that. He said he feel like he's gotten run over while leading. So like, he's remembering all these guys. We're just remembering the one, but it wasn't too long ago that the 48 and him locked horns either. Yeah. So I think that the incident was awesome. Yeah. I love it. I want to see more guys like that because I'm fine with you guys being friends off track. I've said it before, but on track, you know, let's see what you got. And to your point, KP, he gave him a line. He just kind of took it away and made him make a choice.
Yeah.
And he made his choice, and I think that was totally fair and a complete racing deal. If it wasn't for their incidents before, we wouldn't really, we'd be like, oh yeah, that was racing deal. But obviously,
great point.
Obviously, you know, and Denny was even like, what did you expect me to do?
That's right.
So I love it. And to Ross's point too, he was like, kind of like, I hope it's done.
Yes.
Like at least with this one, because I got like 15 other guys I got to get this out of the way with too. So
but to me, and when it happened, my mind flashed back to Phoenix when Chase Elliott did the same thing to Denny, coming out of turn 4 over there, or coming out of turn 2. Same thing, just give you a little room. You want to sucker punch and get up in there, that's okay, but there's not enough room. And Denny, I mean, that was Chase's payback to Denny, and they've had no issues since that time. Those two have had no issues.
The worst thing about that was what happened to the 4. Because the 4 was having a good run,
right. That's
and
right.
maybe would he have won? Don't know or not, but like it took all that out of the window, like, and you hate to see that for someone else.
But I do love that Busch Apple car. I like the red 4. Okay, next up, another driver who has really had a couple of weeks where they're looking to turn things around. Mamba, close your ears on this one. I'm really sorry. Ryan Blaney talked about not having anything to lean on in turn 3 at Pocono, and then really didn't have anything to lean on when he made heavy contact with the wall there towards the end of the race. So right now he is sitting 2 above the elimination line. The only thing that's separating him from that elimination line is Martin Truex Jr. He is not that far ahead of MTJ in points. At one point we were talking about Ryan Blaney winning the regular season championship. So now, does Ryan Blaney make the playoffs? Do you want me to start with you, or do you want me to kick it over here so we can
give it to KP.
Oh, come on, what?
Look, I'm a triple dog down. RB is making the playoffs. They've had speed all year. They've been in contention for wins. This has been his most consistent season. And even yesterday, he didn't feel like he had a very good car, and he was running towards the front all day. So like, that 12 is like consistently like 5th, like 5th to 7th. Which as a driver, you're like, okay, like we're okay, but okay isn't good enough when the pressure's on now with 5 races to go and 2 spots. I know like we've been talking about this all year. Will we get 17 winners? Will we get 16? I mean, the law of averages are getting close. If the 34 was sitting where Chase Elliott was and this happened, then boom, right? So with the road course coming out, like I got faith in the 12 boys and RB. They're gonna be just fine.
So does he win and get in?
I think he's gonna win. I don't know if winning will make him get in. I think he'll win this year.
Okay.
He's gonna get in regardless. I'm looking at it kind of like a Tony Stewart run from like 2012 when Tony went on that deep run and won the championship. That's what I'm looking for out of the 12.
All right, KP.
Oh. You know, I like the 34 analogy. If and buts were candy and nuts. Every day would be Christmas. We always know that. Listen, here's what I think. Okay, and I am, and we talked about it here before. They talk about it in nauseum on NBC. We're gonna have 14 winners. We're gonna have 2 guys in points. Truex and Blaney is gonna get in on points. End of conversation. Okay. That's the way I feel. Because and let me tell you why. Because we're at that stretch where there are 5 races before we start the playoffs. Chase Elliott's going to pick up the pace. Kyle Larson's going to pick up the pace. Denny Hamlin's going to pick up the pace. They tried stuff yesterday. We already know they're trying stuff. We're picking up the pace. So guys who have already won races are going to continue to win races. Now, we quite possibly at Talladega and some of these freak places, but as far as running up front and winning races, if you just say the year plays out like the year should play out, we're not going to get any more winners. Sorry. All you 17, 18 win conspiracy theorists, not going to happen.
Club.
Burn down your house on the grassy knoll and come down to the real world, okay? It's not going to happen.
So Ryan Blaney makes the playoffs yesterday.
Yes.
All right, 2 yeses here. Okay, next up, Joe Gibbs Racing. It looked like what was going to be a banner day for the organization. It was surely marred by the disqualification of both the 11 and the 18, but a lot of chatter in regards to Joe Gibbs Racing, specifically one driver. His name is Rowdy, Kyle Busch. I don't know if you guys have heard of him or not, but he is currently in the number 18 with still no deal locked in for 2023. Ty Gibbs obviously makes an appearance in the NASCAR Cup Series, subbing in for Kurt Busch. I don't know if you know what his last name is. It's Gibbs. It's spelled the exact same way as Coach Joe Gibbs
Exact same way.
that's his grandson.
Weird.
It's strange how that happened.
So Joe Gibbs Racing obviously has an alliance with 2311. It's been announced Tyler Reddick will be at 2311 in 2024. So all of this makes this perfect storm and this perfect story to set up for what does it look like over there at Joe Gibbs Racing and 2311 for 2023. Mamba, what does it look like over there? Right now, Christopher Bell in the 20, yes? Yes.
Yeah. Give me Christopher Bell in the 20.
Denny in the 11.
Denny in the 11.
Truex in the 19. Already
Truex,
said yes.
yeah,
I'm
Truex
back.
in the 19. The
18. What's the 18 for you?
23 is still there. Bubba's still in the 23. The 18, I don't know. I don't know because, like, the interview after the race was different about. It just felt a little different. It felt like when Kyle was talking about how appreciative he was of Gibbs and Mars and everything. Like, usually coming out of second place for Kyle, he's like pretty fired up. It was a little somber. It was a little different vibe. I don't know what that says, whether that means like they feel like they're getting close to a deal or they feel like maybe the door's closing. I'm not sure. But I will say the interesting part to this is Tyler Reddick's situation.
Yes.
I am a huge Tyler Reddick fan. That is one of my boys. But I will say that the situation with him at RCR right now, if I am Team Chevy, if I am RCR, you guys want him? Here you go.
Yeah.
Because I can't have Tyler Reddick driving my stuff in 2023 and then just feed information back to the Toyota camp because I know he's already signed with them. It's a very sticky situation. It's a business deal. I hope that the sides are able to figure it out to where everyone wins, but it really throws a wrench in the whole thing.
So is the 18 Kyle Busch for 2023?
You're making me pick?
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
Hot
take.
Nope.
So for me, I would think that 23. I think 23 is going to stay the same.
Okay.
I think Kyle's going to be back in the 18.
Okay.
And I took a different read from his stuff yesterday. I took that he had in pre-race. He had a great pre-race interview. He had a great post-race interview. He seemed to have made peace in his head that this is how it's going to work. I can make this work.
Yep.
I'm willing to commit. Joe's willing to commit. They've been committed to me. I'll commit to them. I think the big year is 24.
Yeah.
Because you got Truex who came back, and you got some of this stuff, and some of that stuff can be in flux and be in play. But he's right. Tyler Reddick is the big card. Will Tyler Reddick be doing backseat drivers every day
Sure.
because that's all he's got going? You know what I mean? Next year, is that because that's all he's allowed to do? Because somebody's paying him, but he can't drive because there's not an opening, and Chevy's not going to let him back in. Toyota's not ready for him, so he's just waiting in the wings. What's he going to do next year? So that's the question. Tyler Reddick and his piece of this puzzle. But I think the question. I think Kyle's back in the 18.
And me and Jeff Burton and Mark Martin talked about this on Mark Mamba and the Mayor. Was like, and Jeff's like, you got Tyler Reddick. He's a talent. You need to keep him in your stuff. And I'm like, I feel that, but at the same time, like, I feel if it was me, I'd feel a little hurt. And maybe that's being petty, and that's okay to be like that. You should feel hurt. You invested in this guy, and he's moving on from you.
Yeah. Listen. This is the way racing is. You're either with me or you're against me. You can't be half in.
Yeah,
You mean? And Tyler Reddick is half in. So that means he's half out, and you're out of my place. You know, let me help you load your toolbox.
All right, well, we have 5 races left in the regular season, including the wild card that will be Daytona to close out the regular season. But next up this weekend for the NASCAR Cup Series is the Indy Road Course. It's the second time we've seen the road course in the NASCAR Cup Series over at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. I mean, it's Indy. It's a doubleheader with IndyCar. It's going to be an incredible weekend for motorsports. So let's get into the backseat bets presented by BetMGM. These are just strictly for the road course this Sunday. And as always, these have just a huge sense of humor. Denny Hamlin versus Ross Chastain. Mamba?
I'm gonna go DH because nothing other than I really don't think Ross wants to continue this. So if they're
Yep.
if they just head to head, if they're really head to head, I'm going with the 11.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think Ross wants to continue it either. So but I'm going to go with Ross because he's going to be so far ahead of Denny.
Yeah.
That Denny's not going to know what happened.
Yeah.
Because I think Ross has been good on the road courses, and it's a long front stretch, man. Those Chevys have that speed, and that's a lot of that road course.
That is the reason I am going with Ross Chastain as well. I have liked what I've seen out of the Chevys on road courses, and the Toyotas have been just dismal. All right, next up, Martin Truex Jr. versus Chase Briscoe. If you recall, last year in this race, it was Chase Briscoe and Denny Hamlin that had the incident on track that just turned to Twitter fingers, which I never understand, taking it to Twitter, but you know, whatever. Who you got for this one, KP?
You know what? I'm going to go with Chase. Can I go with Chase? Is that okay? Yeah, okay. I'm going to go with Chase Briscoe because I think the only win that Truex is going to see is the IndyCar race when he watches whoever wins that thing. Because I just believe that Chase has put together some really good road races. And we saw how he was running up there last. He just seems to have adapted, and the Fords are not as behind on the road courses. Let me put it that way.
Yeah, Chase Briscoe, I think everything that Ford did with him in the TA car has really shown up. He's worked with Austin Cindric a lot, and Cindric knows how to get around road courses. And Chase has been good, and I feel like he should have won this race last year anyway. So, and by the way, I did pick him to win this race last year. So
I remember.
I know, I'm just making sure you remember.
That's
so
good.
I'm going with you, Briscoe.
I'm going with the hometown kid as well, the Indiana boy, so which means Martin Truex Jr.
Damn it.
Congratulations on
See,
your
y'all feel
win.
the same way I do.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, next up, the two Hendrick teammates that have dominated road courses as of late, Chase Elliott versus Kyle Larson. Mamba.
Usually I go Kyle Larson. I never pick against Larson, but I'm going with Chase this week because they just have it clicking right now. Mo is with them. The 5 hasn't had it, especially since Cliff hasn't been on the box. So I think Chase Elliott.
Yeah, I think you got to go with Chase for all those reasons. I'm gonna go with Larson, but you've got to, and I'm just gonna go with Larson because I want to see him do something.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
He has been really quiet for the last 6 or 7 races, 7th, 5th, 6th, stuff, but not really contending. I want to see him contend again, so that when we roll into the playoffs, that there he is, that he's shown up. So I need to get him back. But I agree. When you can run 3rd and take the trophy and the check home, it's your
You're
year,
living
man.
right.
It's your year.
You're
It's your
living
year.
Get the rabbit foot out of his car or something. Chase Elliott's got to figure it out. I'm going with Kyle Larson on this one. I liked what I saw out of Sonoma with him. It came down to a bad pit stop with that 5 crew, so I'm going Kyle Larson. Next up.
Oh.
You already know. Y'all already know. Plus, he finished 3rd there last year, I think it was.
Ryan Blaney
right.
Or
versus
second.
Tyler Reddick. We obviously have talked a lot about Tyler Reddick in the show, given his news to 2311, but will it be YRB or T-Red? KP?
So here's what I'd say, because I have had Ryan in my fantasy league forever, okay? So if we only run 2 segments, Ryan's the king of the fantasy league, okay? That 3rd segment just kills Ryan Blaney. I don't know what the deal is. So I'm going to go with Tyler. I've made more points in the fantasy league this year with Tyler than I have with Ryan. Ryan, man, I was killing it yesterday in my fantasy league. And then the 12.
You did have good picks last week.
They bring him in on the hook. So I'll go with Tyler.
I had to stop playing fantasy with people that I saw a lot because every time I pick my friends, I feel like I jinx them. So I was like,
that's right.
I'm like, this does not work. So I had to bow
quit.
out.
I had to quit. That's
I'm ready.
With that being said, though, the week that you said you were not picking Tyler Reddick, he won.
I know. I was like, we're
it.
not doing
It's
it.
that reverse
So do you
jinx.
want
It's
to?
the reverse.
No, this isn't for the win. This is for the head-to-head.
Okay.
So
This
I'm
head-to-head,
going
yeah.
Blaney.
All right. Well, I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah.
Ryan Blaney?
I picked you, dog. I got you.
All right. Well, the Indy Road Course on deck for Sunday in the NASCAR Cup Series. A doubleheader. Obviously, IndyCar will be Saturday, and then the NASCAR Cup Series will take to the track on Sunday. So, Victory Lane on Sunday. KP, do the honors.
Austin Cindric.
Oh, I like it.
How about that? Wins Daytona. Okay. Penske
They're
car.
very similar tracks.
No. Penske car, Indy, road racer, understands this. I'll go with Austin. I think this is a time for Austin to get a little bit back on track. They've had a decent year, not a great year, but he's a rookie. But How fascinated would that be to win Indy and Daytona in your rookie season?
Without his crew chief.
Yeah, even without.
All right.
Yeah.
I really want to go on a limb, and I really want to. I've picked AJ Allmendinger also every road course, and I feel like I'm hurting him now. So I want to go on a limb and go Cole Custer because I really feel like Cole has shown a lot of speed on the road courses, and he's actually it's actually a strong suit for him if you watch. But I'm gonna go with Chase Briscoe.
Oh,
good.
Yeah, I think Chase gets that win that he should have got last year. Yeah, I know who you're going with.
What?
Well, yeah, I have it written down.
Who are you going with?
I'm going with Larson.
Oh, that's not who I thought.
I'm just ready for him to show up again.
that's
I
good.
need
That's good.
something from
That's
the
good.
5. I think Indy is when you start to see, as KP mentioned earlier, it's playoff time, boys.
it's playoff.
So let's
Time to go.
kick it into gear.
Real quick, so we're running out of road course races,
Yeah.
and you told me at the beginning of the year that
I
Austin
picked.
Cindric was going to win a road course race.
Yeah, that's why I picked
So
him.
if you don't, no, you said he was,
Yeah,
but
I
you
picked
picked
him
Larson,
for Road America.
but he didn't win.
Right, but I.
So he's going to win Watkins Glen?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
Oh my gosh, we're picking that far out.
She has to because she didn't pick him this time. She didn't have a
Oh, I
choice.
know. Bojangles is on the line for Mamba and AC. Come on, Austin. No, Kyle Larson is my pick. And we also have a big week for both, well, I guess in 2 weeks for
2
you,
weeks
KP.
for me. 2 weeks for me.
So we have a book coming out on this side of the table. So
Yes,
August 9th.
book. Listen, you can
Hey.
pre-order this book. Look at it. Pre-order.
Most beautiful book
Look
ever.
at- Is that not?
It
look at-
pops. That
So
thing
good.
pops. Look at that's you.
That's me. So you can pre-order now. It comes out August 9th. During the pandemic, I had a little bit of time on my hands.
Did you?
And I called a friend, and we kind of wrote this thing, and it's just a bunch of stories, and I love to talk. So here it is in writing. Swerve or Die, Kyle Petty, pre-order now, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble. Thank you guys.
Amazon?
That's awesome.
Yeah, you can get it on Amazon
Okay.
too. Yeah, I think they have autographed copies at the other. I know I signed 10 million of them, so yeah.
awesome.
Thank you.
Good for you, man.
Guess what we get? An autographed copy.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
It's a parting gift.
All right, Mamba, and you also are taking in an ARCA car this
Yeah,
weekend.
yeah, going ARCA racing at IRP. I'm glad to say it's IRP again.
man.
I'm really excited with Tyler Young. We got Elliott's on it, Maestro's Classics. We got the Mark Mamba and the Mayor podcast is on the hood of that thing as well.
Oh, I love that.
So it's just really cool. I only get to race once a year, and this year for the Snowflake, I'm officiating a wedding. So I chose to officiate the wedding instead of race.
Yeah.
So I found a different one.
Yeah.
This
Love
one's good.
it.
I
Good
can't
for you.
wait.
Good for you, man.
Friday night, right?
Friday night, the
Friday
Reese's
night.
200 FS1, 6 p.m.
Oh,
Eastern.
FS1, yeah.
Yeah, man.
I'm being in front of my TV,
Yes,
man.
sir. Coming
Okay,
at you.
I got
All right.
Mamba for IRP. That's
All
my
right,
pick.
So you guys have
That's
a
my
lot to
pick.
do this weekend. You have to text us here in the backseat, 31032. You have to pre-order Kyle Petty's new book, and you have to watch Mamba on FS1 Friday night. And then just hang out with me, because I'll just be hanging out with my cat all weekend long. All right, make sure and tune in every Monday to Backseat Drivers. Both of you, thank you so much. Appreciate you always being here. And enjoy Indy this weekend. Enjoy a doubleheader. It'll be a fun one, and we'll see you right back here next week after Indianapolis on Backseat Drivers. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to our channel for more clips, highlights, and full-length episodes. Also, check out NASCAR.com to stay up to date with all the latest news.